Tanya?
Calvin, I had the opportunity to sit down with an incredible couple. They've spent their lives here in Chattanooga. They've been dedicated to their community and dedicated to their family. When you talk to them, they say the single most important thing to them has been raising their children and their grandchildren. Well, then, just a few months ago, life took a very unexpected turn. Take a look at the story of Betsy and Calder Willingham. In the 47 years they've been married, life has had ups and downs for Calder Willingham and his wife Betsy.
More ups than downs.
I told a friend of ours the other day that we were talking about amusement parks, and I said I never had to go to one. I'm married to one. He's like, hold on to the roller coaster, here we go.
They've held on tight through 4 children and 14 grandchildren. And you can say they've taken every challenge life has thrown at them in stride. When Calder was 40 and Betsy 37, they started running, and they didn't let their late start slow them down. Soon, they were running races and winning them.
Some younger guy challenged him and said, you can't just run, you have to do something more than that. You don't want to go down the slippery slope and get old. And at 60, he did his first Ironman.
Wow.
And at 63, he did the second one, and at 65, he did the third one.
You sound like a man who doesn't turn away from a challenge.
No. I relish them.
Except for this one.
Yeah, this one I can't whip.
Yeah, but... Okay.
You're right.
But it's a challenge.
That challenge has changed the Willinghams' lives forever. They hit the roadblock in 2006.
Well, I had a bike wreck in 06. I was riding the triathlon route before the triathlon, checking for potholes. Had a bike wreck, broke a bunch of ribs, had a concussion. But then when I started trying to get back in shape, I couldn't.
The Willinghams spent years going to doctors, taking tests. No one could figure out what was wrong with Calder. The man who used to run 5 or 6 miles every morning could barely walk.
I can't walk across the street. I mean, I can walk and stop and hang on a parking meter for a few minutes to get my breath back.
It wasn't until 3 years later, this past March, when doctors at Johns Hopkins Medical Center in Maryland figured out what was wrong.
The last day, they said, the 2 main doctors that we've been fooling with said, we'd like a meeting. And I'm pumped up going, hey, they found out what's wrong with me, and they both want to be in on the pump up, on the interview saying, yeah, we found out here's a pill. But then they came in and told me that. And I didn't know anything about ALS except Lou Gehrig. And I knew he didn't live long. So I knew it was terminal. And
Calder was diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, a disease that attacks the nerve cells in the brain and the spinal cord. Routine tasks like going up steps, getting out of a chair, or even swallowing eventually become impossible. That means the race Calder can't win is the race against time. Once people are diagnosed, they usually only have 3 to 5 years to live.
We've had every kind of equipment, from baby carriages it's hard, to bicycles. So we're just going to go now with the power chair and a van. We'll do everything we can to make the rest of this work well.
But like with every challenge they faced, the Willinghams are not giving up, and MDA is helping them.
The MDA and ALS people who work for those 2 organizations both met with us that day of our first appointment. And that was the most wonderful support.
MDA raises more money to support the clinics and research for Lou Gehrig's disease than any other nonprofit organization.
It's such a little known, it strikes like 1 in 100,000. But to that one, it's a death sentence.
Calder says that research may not help him, but it could help another family.
I don't want somebody else to go through this. Not quitting. Fight to the end. But it's not fun.
In the meantime, the Willinghams are staying positive.
No, he's always had a little motto, but I don't think it's okay for the camera. But
Yes, it is. Moderation is for monks.
Calder Willingham has always lived life to the fullest. He and Betsy say the reason why you should donate is simple, so that ALS doesn't stop you or someone you love from doing the same.
So we went camping with the kids in April, and at Ocoee, and our daughter-in-law was pregnant with the 14th grandchild, and here was this precious little 2.5-year-old, and all the rest that live here. And on the way home, he cried and said, "I won't see them grow up." Well, I said, but you've seen a whole bunch of them grow up, and you have to look at the positives.
I really don't feel cheated, because I've had so much.
Just a little more.